Shabbat Shalom. Reviewing last week about the cherubim and the character traits of the cherubim that are protecting messengers around the throne of Yahweh's essence, presence, existence. The lion, the ox, the man, us, and the eagle. So going backwards, the eagle, the trait, the book of John is divine. The book of John, Yohanan. 90% of that book is the last week of the life of Yeshua. And the eagle is Nashar, protect by distancing. An eagle, protecting bird. Yahweh takes us up on eagle's wings. And eagles, they don't kick their children out of the nest, but they watch over them as they begin to flap their wings to learn how to fly, and they'll watch over them when they do go out to make sure they make it to the next tree limb or rock cliff until they're able to fly on their own, and then they go on their way. And so that trait of Yahweh gives us self-assurance that he won't let us go until we are able to fly on our own. And then he trusts us, actually, because we should be reflecting him. Then man, that's obvious. Man only has one purpose, and that's to be fruitful and multiply and duplicate himself as he is in the image of Yahweh. Having been restored to his likeness, he is to create reflections of him in his children and train them into the likeness of Yahweh. And they too be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth. Okay. And then the ox, sure, is a powerful steer, right? It's the strongest domestic animal in service to man. That is in general for man. I'm hesitant because, in India they got elephants, but that's not all over. It's actually the oxen, steer. So that is the book of Mark, the trait of a suffering servant, a strong suffering servant, because that ox plows the field for us, which will bring forth vegetation to feed us and to do whatever we needed to do. And so the ox, the trait of Yahweh, that is a servant, but a suffering one, a burden bearer. And the ox is young, is yoked to the mature ox, and learns through imitating. And it has no choice because it's yoked to the stronger ox. So that yoke keeps it in lockstep with the mature ox. He can't lag behind and he can't get ahead. So we see that type of discipleship is a forced one. And then once the mature ox recognizes that the young one knows nothing else but what it taught him to imitate, then it can be released from the mature ox, and then it becomes the mature, and a young ox is yoked to it, and that cycle continues. And it bears the fruit of its purpose. And then the lion, Matthew, the Davidic king, a lion, king of animals, a lion that cannot be domesticated, a lion that has no fear, right? And Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, right? The character traits of Yahweh in the flesh, in Yeshua, the Davidic king. He's king, he rules over all. And Matthew, a powerful leader who takes hold and contains whatever. It's like Allah, the root of Elohim, powers, right? A master combining all elements for control, and power that controls all natural force. So a lion. And a lion, when the lion has lion cubs, it's even, averaging the same amount of males as females. But the females always outnumber the males because the young males don't survive. Only 1 out of 8 male lion cubs survive. Because after 2 years, the king of the pride kicks out the young males and sends them away so that they don't mess with his females. And those guys, the brothers, they go out, they kick it until, and that's when the majority of them die. Because the other pride males will kill them, and when or they'll die along the way or in their journeys or whatever. When they see a pride of lions and the male is elderly, then one of the surviving youths will try and fight to take over that pride. And if he does, and then he'll kill off the young under 2 years. Is that what the dude did, Pharaoh? All the ones under 2 years? Yeah. He did it, didn't he? They killed all the ones under 2 years. And that's the way a lion who survives his trek and takes over another pride, all the young boys that's under 2, because if they're over 2, they're gone anyway. All the ones that are there under 2 that are not his, he kills them off because he only wants his seed that he'll nurture for 2 years and then kick them out to go and do. So amongst lions, only the strongest survive. That's true. And so we are to be like lions. If Yeshua dwells in us, his seed dwell in us, then those character traits also he wants to develop in us. And we are to rule. Psalm 110 says, rule within your enemies, right? And we are priests, Kohanim, serving leaders. We are like, Mark, suffering servants. We are told in Galatians and that we are to carry the burdens of the weak. We're suffering servants to see others make it in the kingdom, and we're to disciple others. Yeshua said, make disciples of all men, right? And so we're to, in discipling others, like Paul says, imitate me as I imitate Yeshua. Like the ox, yoked its young to it until they learn. So it's easy to learn in the kingdom. You just imitate. You really don't have to think. Just mimic. You follow? And then Yah will give the wisdom and understanding, what have you. And then man, we duplicate ourselves, fruitful, multiply. And then the eagle, John. Oh, that's the book of Luke. Man, book of Luke. Right? Luke was a doctor, so it highlights the man's physical traits. That's why it's the longest of the Gospels. And then the book of John is the divine characteristics of the Messiah, which we take on, and it's a watcher, a protecting bird, and flies above all storms, all chaos, what have you, and just watches over in a protective manner for whatever. And so that's who we are as priests. We can discern the good from the evil, the clean from the unclean, the pure from the defiled. So we're watchers at all times. Amen. So that's just reviewing the throne, the cherubim, and Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, character traits of Yeshua, which he wants to put in us. Amen. All right, Psalms 103. We want to exegete Psalms 103 and let it exegesis, pulling out from within. We want to let the scriptures speak to us and us not exegete, speak into it, preconceived knowledge or understanding. The Spirit accompanies the truth and brings revelation knowledge to the sincere, to the pure of heart. Amen. You'll see why the Hebrew and the working knowledge of it is important. Psalms 103, verse 1 through 5. It says, bless Yahweh, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless his sanctified name. Yeah, his name is sanctified. Okay. That's pretty straightforward. Verse 2. Bless, all relating to Yahweh, my soul. Raki nafshi et Yahweh. We'al tishkehik kal gemula. Verse 2 says, bless Yahweh, my soul. Bless all relating to Yahweh, my soul. And it will not forget. The word to forget, shakach, but this rendition is tishkeich, which is it will forget. Shakach is to forget, and it gives us an understanding about forgetting. Forgetting is not what we understand it to be. Oh, I just forgot. No. It lets you know why a person may claim to forget. You forget due to being distracted. Your mind is not on because it's distracted, focusing on other things. That's why people forget. So if someone says, oh, I just forgot, like they're innocent, no problem. Oh, I just forgot. Yeah, he forgot. No, he wasn't trying to focus. He was interested in other things. You follow me? You're allowing yourself to be distracted. Okay? So it will not be distracted, right, from all his benefits, right? It says, forget, and I will not be distracted of all your benefits. The word benefits is gamal, his gamal, right? Gamal is the third letter of the Hebrew Aleph Bet, Gimel, right? Which is, the pictorial is a camel's foot, right? And, the idea, a camel is the animal that can survive on the least amount of nourishment in desolate places while it's traveling. You follow? So we have this journey while we're in this full course of time, this age on earth. And a lot of times we'll be traveling with the least amount of nourishment. And it's an arduous journey. You follow me? But the word connotes the idea of being developed completely, maturing. You see, a ripening fruit. And, the camel, the animal requiring minimal nourishment, right? So, verse 2 actually says, bless Yahweh, my soul, and my soul, it will not forget all his ability to develop me to maturity. You follow me? To ripen me up. That's what verse 2 says. They generally translate it as, and forget not all his benefits. Like, oh, he's just going to meet all my needs, whatever I want. No. Don't forget that he will ripen you to maturity. He will develop you completely. Amen? So in verse 3 says, who forgives all your iniquities, who heals all your diseases, right? Ha-soleach lekal awonehi harofe lechal tachaluahi, right? And it says, the one forgiving all your awen, iniquities. There are 4 Hebrew words that the translators will translate as iniquity. It is iniquity, but again, the Hebrew gives you the specific understanding of what the heart of Yahweh wants you to receive, right? Awen, ayin waw, final noon, is, it says, the one forgiving all your sorceries, your knack to take advantage of people to benefit yourself. It's called sorcery. You know, you get people to do your bidding. Manipulation, isn't it? When you manipulate somebody to do what you want. When you take advantage of them. You know, benefit for specific time periods. Yeah. So Yahweh, he'll forgive you for that because we have that in our nature previous to being immersed. And now we're growing out of that. And like verse 2 says, he's developing us completely away from that rebellious nature that we used to have. Amen. And the one healing all your sicknesses, diseases, sicknesses, so that's correct. Okay. Verse 4, who redeems your life from destruction, who crowns you with loving kindness and tender mercies. Right? Hagoel, the one redeeming Mishachat, from destruction, from being destroyed, Hayiki, your life, right? So that's correct. And then the one crowning you of devoting to meeting of needs, right? And Rachamim, Ham Atrehi Chesed Werachamim, the one crowning you of devoting to meeting needs. So you're crowned with his devotion to meeting your needs. So that's a no-brainer. You'll never have to worry or concern yourself with your needs being met. That's his role. And Yahweh is jealous, and he claims that exclusive right to do. Even above you, you don't try and meet your needs. That's his role as our father. As your father, he wants to do that, right? So he crowns you with devoting to meeting needs and compassion. He can sympathy. He can sympathize with you. He understands and he's compassionate. Amen. That's verse 4. Now, verse 5. This is the wide Hebrew. Who satisfies your mouth with good so that your youth is renewed like the eagles. Oh, here we go, eagle. Verse 5. I want to read this one because it is a wide Hebrew. Hamas via batov edyek tit chadesh kanesher neurahi. Okay, verse 5, word for word. Exegeting. Hamas v, the one satisfying batov, with the being purposeful. Watch this. The one satisfying with the being purposeful. Edyek, ada, ayin dalet hey. That's the word for testimony or witness. Oh, the one satisfying with being purposeful, your witness, your testimony. They translated putting in the mouth that which is good, right? Satisfy your mouth with good things. What does that mean? Satisfying your mouth with good things. You see, with the Hebrew, clarifies it functionally and concretely by saying, oh, Yahweh will satisfy you with being purposeful, your witness. It's all about purpose. You can't live your life and have the kingdom of heaven within you and it not be according to purpose by which you were created, the purpose by which you were created, right? And the benefit for being purposeful, right? Responding to how our witness is always being purposeful. How you doing? Great. Yeah? Yeah, we had another child. Hey, that's too many. When you going to stop? You need to stop having children. No. That's our purpose. to be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth, isn't it? Children come from who? Not you. Come from Yahweh, right? So if you keep having them, that's because he trusts you that you're going to train them up in the way so we can fulfill our purpose as mankind, right? Now watch. So he says, the one satisfying you with being purposeful, your witness, right? Tit chadesh kanesher neurahi. It will renew. What will? Your witness. It will renew. Chadash, the word for renew, right? Hadasha is new. It's also berit hadasha, the new covenant. Hadasha, to renew, new, right? The new message that Yeshua brought, right? So it says, and the pronominal prefix, right? Incomplete action. It will renew. What will renew? The antecedent is edek, your witness. Your witness of being purposeful will renew, like the eagles, your youth. People don't want to get old. Live purposefully. And all the promises of Yahweh, 2 Corinthians 1:20, batach is the word promise, is self-assurance, is confidence. You can have confidence that your youth will be renewed based upon your witness of living purposefully. Come on now, this is what's happening. Nobody wants to get old and wrinkly. No, this man's lot in life. Yeah, man outside of Yahweh. But Yeshua reversed the curse, did he not? Yeah, he did. Yeshua reversed the curse that was against us, huh? He made him who knew no sin to be sin for us, that we might become the righteousness of powers in him. So he reversed the curse of sin. The wages of sin is death. So if he reversed it, the wages of righteousness is life forever. So sin, right? The wages of sin is death, and the degrees of death is sickness towards death, right? So that's why Yeshua came and he always was doing what? Healing us, which verse 3 says. He forgives all our iniquities and he heals all our sicknesses. This is powerful. Psalm 103, 1-5, huh? So there's your remedy. You know, man, through his industrial movements with science, technology, artificial intelligence, is trying to live forever. He don't want to get old. He can't, out of all his years of being in the lab, he can't stop the aging process. So Satan gave him the idea, well, maybe we can sustain the consciousness, freeze it in a vial until we can get a new body. They stupid. Robotic body or otherwise, a younger one. I don't know, they're crazy. They're stupid. But all the answers are in the scriptures. What they're trying to accomplish through science and technology, Yahweh has already given the remedy for it if we just submit to him. Amen? So, yeah, you believe the word or do you not? Yeshua says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Do you believe I can do these things? Yes, Father, I believe you can do them. I believe you have done them in Yeshua HaMashiach, my Redeemer. Amen. Go let your youth be renewed like the eagles by living according to purpose and bearing witness of it. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their witness, their testimony. And they did not love their lives to the death. Doesn't matter the external cultural narrative. I'm going to live my life according to my biological design. You follow? And I'm going to give a witness and a testimony of the fruit that I'm experiencing and enjoying and the promises because of it. You see? We every time I go out, oh, I got 8 children. Like, what? My last I'm a veteran, right? Served in the military. So I have a VA card. Yahweh, I never get sick, bless his name, but there's some benefits. And so I had to do it. I hadn't done a checkup in like 5, 6 years. And they encouraged me, said, man, go let them know you're still alive. And you. So I went to the VA's office and scheduled an appointment so they can check me out. I'm not intimidated by that. And it was a witness to the doctor. Did tests on me and whatnot, and the doctor couldn't believe my physical state and said, I'm going to go on record and say that you are the most healthiest vet in this VA hospital since I've been here that I've witnessed. How are you living your life? And I shared. I read the word, go to bed early, rise up early, no drinking, no smoking. She's like, what? And was this before the computer looking and couldn't believe that people are living like that. So that's a witness. We read the word daily. You carry the word with us all the time, always righting wrongs, telling people, get your children out of these schools, homeschool them. Yahweh didn't give you children for you to throw them off to someone else to educate. He entrusted them to you to educate them in the way of the word. You see? And it's a more safer environment anyway, isn't it? Who can show them love more than you, the parents? Nobody. And they're in a safe environment. Amen. So yeah, your witness. You should always be witnessing because you're the light and that light radiates within darkness and it can't be hidden. Light cannot be hidden. Make sense? See, so Yahweh reigns, man. You're just not always talking, you're just living it. Be doers and not hearers only. And then when he brings someone to you, then you will declare to them the message of the kingdom of powers and how they too can be transferred into it as a citizen and enjoy the benefits, the promises. Amen. Yahweh reigns. That was Psalm 103, 1-5. Correct translation. Hebrew translation. So the lion teaches by Aleph, the ox teaches by Lamad, and the eagle teaches by Yara. Aleph, lead by example, a leader whose followers lack independence, teaching, learning, a guide, a mentor. And a trait of that is within the way the ox leads also and disciples. But mainly the ox is lamad, learning, teaching, habituating, goading, directing the yoke. The ox leads by his disciple, lamad, habituating. So they just habit. Each day is yoked. So it does the same thing with the mature ox. And they learn by seeing practical use and ethical behavior, lamad, the ox. And the eagle, yara. The eagle teaches its young by casting them out of the nest. Overthrow them out of the comfort zone. Get out of here. But will watch over them in protective fashion, but forces them to begin to flap their wings, try and cushion the fall or slow down the fall, but they won't let them hit the ground. They'll swoop underneath and catch them and then drop them again until they strengthen the wings and then like that, cast and shoot. So those three different models, traits of Yahweh's characteristics in us. So there's those three different ways of teaching. And it varies with each individual because we're all unique. Amen? Good stuff. And so these three different ways of teaching has not been fully implemented in the body of the Messiah, in the religious church. they keep people dependent upon them. They don't release them to go and carry out what you taught them. You see? And that's part of the problem why the world is in darkness, because the assembly of Yeshua, the congregation of Yeshua, has not been being the light. It's been caught in religion, clothed and draped in religiosity. But this pandemic, Yahweh used to unmask religion, to unmask the medical industry. Sole intent was to prosper and make money off of people's illnesses and to keep them dependent upon them. You see, so that's been exposed now, and we've just read the Psalms about who our healer is. So we're not to make people dependent upon us. Yeshua set the example. He discipled, he taught, he modeled for them to imitate him, and then he cast them out after 3.5 years to go do the same. You follow me? Had the so-called church been faithful, the world wouldn't be experiencing what it is today. We would have taken over. Yeah? If anything, Yahweh would have been judging the wicked while he increases our families, every family. As for me and my house, we will serve Yahweh. And any family with that determination, Yahweh brings increase. And our numbers will be multiplying, and we'll overlap, and we'll take over, and we'll spread, fill the whole earth, and there'll be no room for darkness because we're the light. It's simple. But people just want to do what they want to do, and they'll suffer the consequences for it. And the authority given to you by the Most High is based upon your having your family in the covenant. No one is qualified to shepherd Yahweh's people if their families haven't been shepherded properly by the priest, the shepherd, the pastor of his own home. A man who has children is the priest, the shepherd, the pastor of his woman and children. If he has not been faithful in that, Yahweh will never put him over shepherding his people. Greater consequence for those who want to be teachers. But it says that, but we're all called to teach though. But it's just a warning. If you're going to teach, which you have no otherwise, you better do it according to the word and what was modeled for you by your Redeemer. Amen. And abundance, devoting to meeting needs, it's all there. And all things richly to enjoy. Praise Yahweh.